News.
President Trump is accusing former President Barack Obama of wiretapping, and the Muslim ban is reaching new heights.
Plus, in Nebraska, an officer hits a pedestrian while dangerous fire weather conditions continue.
All that and more next on Star City News.
Live from the television studios in the College of Journalism and Mass Communications at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Star City News starts now.
Good evening, I'm Joe Harris.
And I'm Christian Folsom.
A red flag warning is in effect for a large swath of the Midwest today, including Lincoln and most of eastern Nebraska. Live from Pioneers Park, Star City's Tommy Rezach has more on how the warm and dry weather increases the risk of fires.
Thanks, Joe. Lincoln Fire and Rescue responded to just one grass fire today, but they had 3 within city limits on Monday. There were also 2 other fires Monday in the surrounding communities of Ceresco and Murdoch. While cooler temperatures are on the way and winds are expected to die down tomorrow, Lincoln officials want to make sure that people are taking the proper precautions when fire danger is high. Unusually warm temperatures, gusty winds, and dry air have created elevated fire danger this week. A red flag warning is in effect for the second day in a row in Lincoln.
It's dry air with very strong wind speeds, over 25 miles an hour. So if there was a fire to be started, it would blow embers and so forth real fast and just fuel the fire.
One grass fire reported Monday closed Interstate 80 for a short time, but Lincoln Public Safety Director Tom Cassidy says Lincoln Fire and Rescue is prepared to respond quickly to such emergencies.
We deal with fire risk every day, but it's a heightened risk when you have a red flag warning like we do today and yesterday, and that means that you're more likely to have a grass fire where you need to deploy more fire resources than you might ordinarily. And we're prepared to do that.
Though it doesn't take much to ignite a fire on warm, windy days like this, Assistant Lincoln Fire Chief Pat Borer says there's a few things you can do to help prevent grass fires.
Just the conditions are right this time of year for these kinds of things. So we just ask people to be very vigilant about what they're doing.
If you're concerned about grass fires in the city of Lincoln, you can see where they happen by downloading the Pulse Point app on your smartphone. And although the red flag warning in Lincoln expires in less than 2 hours, anytime the weather is warm, windy, and dry, and you're outdoors in your dry grass like this here, you're encouraged to use extra caution whether you're smoking, grilling, or doing anything with fire outdoors. Reporting in Lincoln, Tommy Rezach, Star City News.
A Lincoln police officer has resigned from the force after being cited for speeding and driving while intoxicated. The Lancaster County attorney says 30-year-old Brian Nicholson was driving 67 miles an hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone when he was pulled over by a state trooper on January 29th. Nicholson's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. He faces up to a $200 fine and may lose his license for up to a year if convicted of the charges. A court hearing for Nicholson's charges is set for tomorrow in Lancaster County Court.
A Lincoln police officer who hit a pedestrian in a crosswalk with his cruiser will not be ticketed. Officer Patrick Wingfield was turning onto Normal Boulevard from 48th Street last week when he said it was too late to avoid hitting a 35-year-old woman who was in the crosswalk. The officer said he was responding to a call but didn't have his sirens or lights on. LPD spokeswoman Katie Flood says the Department's Safety Committee is reviewing the accident. If the committee deems the accident was preventable, Officer Wingfield will be internally disciplined.
A man in a wheelchair was hit by a pickup today near 13th and M Streets. Lincoln police say 55-year-old Leslie Alsop was crossing M Street when a Windstream Communications truck turned off 13th and struck him and his wheelchair. By the time our crews got there, Alsop had already been taken to Bryan Medical Center. He's now been released. He was hit just before 11 o'clock. The driver, 32-year-old Sean Purdy, was issued a citation.
A few weeks ago, President Trump signed an executive order requiring Keystone XL pipeline be made with American-produced steel. Now a White House spokesman says the pipeline will be exempt from the Buy American requirement because the pipeline was already partially underway. The president of Bold Alliance, a group opposed to the pipeline, said this about the executive order.
He would force TransCanada to use American-made steel. And we learned this week that that's not happening, that was also a lie. So President Trump made himself out to be this populist, made himself out to be a great negotiator, when the reality is he is just another Republican politician who caves to big oil.
Meanwhile, questions are surfacing about recent comments made by President Trump. Over the weekend, Trump took to Twitter accusing then-President Barack Obama of wiretapping Trump Tower in the weeks prior to the 2016 election. UNL political science professor Kevin Smith says he can't remember a president leveling such a strong, unfounded charge against another president in the modern era.
I mean, effectively what Trump was accusing Obama of was spying on him. And it pressures not just the media, but also Congress to evaluate and investigate these charges.
Smith says this will push discussion on Trump's policy agenda out of the limelight and reinvigorate fears about Trump's campaign connections with the Russian government.
In regards to President Trump's initial travel ban, Star City's Seth Cordy is live in the newsroom with more. Seth?
Thanks, Chris. Well, just 5 weeks ago, the president issuing his initial travel ban. Now, this new executive order that was supplanted on Monday includes much more deliberate planning. Call it Travel Ban version 2, the president signing a new executive order Monday affecting travelers from 6 Muslim-majority nations. Originally, the plan included Iraq. The new order no longer includes the country. On Monday, the president let his cabinet members do the talking.
Iraq is an important ally in the fight to defeat ISIS.
The new order will go into effect March 16th instead of immediately as originally planned and expires after 90 days. All refugee admission will be suspended for 120 days. Here in Lincoln at Lutheran Family Services, the organization is working in continued support of refugees.
They want the truth, and we want to give them the truth. They also want to know that people are still advocating for them. I think our greatest concern is to let them know that we're not just signing off on it and saying it's okay. And so we are doing our best to explain to the refugees we're working with what's happening, that things are still in process, that we're not sure what it's gonna be like next week even. We're still waiting to see how it's all gonna keep playing out, and that we're just gonna keep supporting them and fighting for their families to be here.
Reporting for Star City News, I'm Seth Cordy.
Up next on Star City News, as goes Nebraska farming, so goes the state's economy.
We'll tell you about the impact decline in Nebraska's agricultural industry is having on the city of Lincoln. You're watching Star City News.
A lot of high school students would ask, why should I go to UNL? Well, why did Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show fan, go to UNL? Why did multi-billionaire businessman Warren Buffett go to UNL? Why did people of such great fame and success go to UNL? Simple, because these are people that wanted to be successful. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, you too can begin your own success story. After all, if people like this can achieve national recognition and who came to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, then so can you.
For nearly 7 years now, Here Nebraska has provided the state with nonprofit music journalism. Our platform survives on the hard work and dedication of our staff and our contributors, everyday volunteers that generate content. Contributing is an excellent way to gain valuable professional experience, recognition, and build your portfolio. Go to herenebraska.org to learn more and how you can contribute.
East Campus is for students who want an education outside of the classroom. We have art, agriculture, fashion, food science, law, dentistry, and a lot of trees, all of which are housed just on the corner of 33rd and Holdridge. Grab an ice cream cone at our dairy store or take a stroll through our gardens while you're here. Want to make it legit? Visit us at casnr.unl.edu to reserve a tour soon.
Welcome back to Star City News. I'm Joe Harris.
And I'm Christian Folsom. The union representing Nebraska's corrections workers is calling for Governor Pete Ricketts' spokesman to resign. It's over a tweet he made. The Nebraska Public Employees Union believes Ricketts' spokesman Taylor Gage made light of last week's deadly riot at the Tecumseh State Prison. Gage compared it to a preschool disturbance in California by tweeting, quote, "In other words, preschool riot," end quote. NAPE AFSCME President Mike Marvin said this about the tweet, quote, "We felt that even though he denies it, we clearly believe this was meant to make light of Tecumseh," end quote.
A new report paints an alarming picture for Alzheimer's disease in Nebraska. According to the Alzheimer's Association, an estimated 5.5 million Americans have Alzheimer's. That includes 33,000 in Nebraska. Those numbers are expected to nearly triple by 2050 unless a treatment is found. Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S. It's the only top 10 disease in America without a way to prevent, cure, or even slow its progression.
A 44-year-old Lincoln man has been charged with sexually assaulting a developmentally disabled woman with the mental capacity of a child. Neo Mint is charged in Lancaster County with first-degree sexual assault of an incompetent person. Lincoln police believe Mint had sex twice with the 26-year-old woman, who is now pregnant. The victim's sister told police the victim has the mental capacity of a 3-year-old. Mint has been released on a $500,000 bond. If convicted, he could face up to 50 years in prison.
Well, the deficit Nebraska is currently facing is causing Lincoln economic planners to get creative to keep the capital city's economy moving forward. Star City's Matt Rigby has more.
As the budget deficit in Nebraska continues to receive attention, the focus on the state's agricultural economy has taken center stage. Nebraska has the 4th largest agricultural economy of any state in the country, and 1 in 4 jobs in Nebraska is tied to farming. So when agriculture suffers, as it currently is, all of Nebraska's economy suffers, even here in Lincoln. Lincoln's economy has shown positive growth over each of the past 3 years, but the growth could be even greater were it not for the woes of agriculture. Lincoln Chamber of Commerce Vice President of Economic Development, Pat Haverty, says that Lincoln does try to make up for the ag deficit in other ways.
We're seeing a lot of growth in the technology sector. And you're seeing that with Huddle, the new building they're building in the downtown. But you're seeing also a lot of growth from a lot of other companies in their technology sector.
But even with Lincoln exhibiting growth, economists say the deficit will eventually catch up. Forecasters say they expect net farm income in 2017 to decline by 8.7% nationally from last year. If the prediction holds true, it will be the 4th consecutive year of decline. That decrease has led to budget cuts throughout the state, cuts that are being felt here in Lincoln.
One group that's looking to get cut significantly is the Department of Economic Development. So it is challenging for us here in Lincoln when a partner like that is getting cut in this budget.
Reporting for Star City News, I'm Matt Rigby.
2 Lincoln men are in jail after Lincoln police say they have a video of them sexually assaulting a woman outside of a party. The 20-year-old victim told Lincoln police 20-year-old Dean Christensen and 21-year-old Trevin Sabin assaulted her in the driveway outside of a party near 25th and Orchard. Police say they've obtained a short smartphone video of the attack. Prosecutors charged Christensen with first-degree sexual assault and Sabin with aiding and abetting first-degree sexual assault. Windy day for Lincoln today.
We've had a lot of wind during the past several days. Here's a live look outside at Pioneers Park tonight, where the breeze is now settling down. We'll have today's forecast right after this.
Conserve and protect. The choice is yours. Stay ahead of the game and invest in reusable containers, or simply make use of recycling bins. Our recycling bins around campus can recycle paper, plastic, and even aluminum. Finished with that newspaper? Recycle it. Did you drink the rest of your pop? Recycle it. Heck, we'll even take your homework. Well, after it's graded, of course. Stop throwing away plastic and just recycle it.
What can we do with 2.2 million square feet?
We can create,
design, develop,
study,
generate,
build.
At Innovation Campus, we combine research and transformation.
We combine business and art, technology and research.
We combine minds with makers, experts and novices. We innovate.
Welcome to Innovation Campus.
The historic Haymarket, a beautiful place just west of downtown Lincoln, home of the exciting Pinnacle Bank Arena and a rich history. The Haymarket's history starts shortly after Lincoln's founding, when Lincoln was a busy hub for trains filled with traders and merchants. But now, Lincoln has a new rail yard that's filled with people looking for food, drinks, or fun. The Haymarket is loaded with restaurants and fun for everyone. What are you waiting for? Go visit lincolnhaymarket.org/events to find out what's happening today.
Welcome back to Star City News. I'm Joe Harris.
And I'm Christian Folsom. Well, we've been experiencing some interesting weather lately. Let's check in with meteorologist Jocelyn Darling with more. Jocelyn?
It's windy today. Winds from the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Gusts up to 40 miles per hour, making it much cooler than it was yesterday. It's 54 degrees outside right now. We are under a red flag warning for today. With those very strong winds and low humidity, fires are going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to control. So please be very careful out there. Taking a look at the almanac, the high today was 57, low was 34. We're well above average for this time of year, but if you take a look at the record high, yesterday it was 79 degrees, so it's much cooler today than it was yesterday. Looking at tonight, the low will be 31 degrees. It's still going to be very windy. Those winds from the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour are going to make the wind chills all the way down in the low 20s, so if you're headed outside tonight, please bundle up. Tomorrow, however, the high is going to be 66. The winds are going to die down, it's going to be really sunny, and it's going to be a beautiful day. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, Thursday it's going to be 59, so still very nice. Not quite as nice as Wednesday, but still a beautiful, clear, sunny day. Friday it's going to cool off, though. We're going to have a cold front roll in. Overnight between Friday and Saturday, we are going to see some wintry precipitation. So right now we're looking at snow, but that could change to rain by the time Saturday gets here. If there is any snow accumulation, it's all going to melt away Sunday. The high is going to be all the way up to 50 degrees. It's going to be sunny and clear. Headed into next week, Monday and Tuesday, it's still going to be around 50 degrees. There is a slight chance of some precipitation, so we'll have to see how that turns out. But overall, over the next week, it's still going to be well above average. Back to you at the desk.
Well, it's not that nice for sports out there because it's so windy.
Yeah, I would say it's not really the nicest for sports. But speaking of sports, the Nebraska men's basketball team plays the first round of the Big Ten tournament Wednesday, and UNO is in the Summit League championship game tonight. After the break, Anthony Ainsley will have the details right here on Star City News.
This is the nation's biggest multicultural center attached to a union. There's space to interact, study, and create. We're home to dozens of cultures, majors, and interests. We are home to all underrepresented students. And here, there's always room for you. Located on the east side of the UNL City Campus Union, find your home away from home. Find us at the Jackie Gunn Multicultural Center.
At the Outdoor Adventure Center, you'll find activities for everyone. From canoeing, to kayaking, to rock climbing. Everyone can get involved, but if you want to find them, you'll probably have to look up. The Outdoor Adventure Center isn't something you can really define. It's a culture built through experiences. Take a class with us. Go on a trip with us. We're open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come move with us. Come adventure with us. You just have to experience it.
It's your first stop on campus. It's your helping hand. It's a place to study, a place to eat, and a place to plan. The NCARD office, Career Services, Student Affairs Center, a multicultural center, food, and even Greek affairs.
Wait, did you mention food?
Yes, but we have a lot of other stuff too. Come check it out at the Union.
It's our union.
Welcome back to Star City News. I'm Anthony Ainsley with all your sports-related news today. The Nebraska men's basketball team begins Big Ten tournament play tomorrow with their season on the line. The Huskers have a 12-18 record following the regular season and will be a 12 seed in this year's tournament. Their first round game will be against 13 seed Penn State, and the winner going on to play the 5th seed Michigan State Spartans on Thursday. The Huskers play tomorrow at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. Tip-off is set for 4:30 Eastern Time. Another Nebraska team looking to go dancing in March is UNO. The Mavericks have reached the Summit League Tournament Championship game with an automatic bid for the NCAA tournament at stake. UNO will play South Dakota State for the Summit League Championship tonight at 9 p.m. Creighton is the third Nebraska team looking to make an appearance in the NCAA tournament. The Blue Jays have a 23-8 record going into the Big East Conference tournament this week, earning them a spot in the second round and the number 3 seed. Creighton will play tomorrow night when they take on 6th-seeded Providence. The Friars are currently 20-11 going into tomorrow's game. Tip-off is set for 9 p.m. at Madison Square Garden. The Nebraska baseball team's home opener was today. The Huskers took on Northern Colorado this afternoon in the first of 2 games against the Bears this week. The Big Red are currently 3-6 going into today and are coming off a 1-0 win over Arizona on Sunday. The Huskers will play their second game against Northern Colorado at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon at Hawks Field. They will then host a 3-game series against Western Carolina this weekend. Well, the NBA had a pretty busy Monday night while the college tournament scene heats up. A total of 11 games provided a ton of action for hoop fans across the nation. We start with Sacramento against Denver. The Nuggets trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Wilson Chandler looking to make sure that happens. He'll drain a 3 from the corner to get Denver started. The threes kept coming from Denver as Chandler got Danilo Gallinari open on the wing for 3. This would give the Nuggets the early 6-0 advantage. Sacramento had a few tricks of their own as Anthony Tolliver able to find Costa Koufis down low for the 2-handed slam to make it a 10-point affair. But just too much Denver. Wilson Chandler hitting the 3 to seal the deal. He finished off with a career-high 36 points, and the Denver Nuggets break their winless streak. They win 108-96. We now head to Atlanta as they host Golden State, with Paul Millsap and Kent Bazemore helping extending the Hawks' lead early on in this game. But the Warriors just wouldn't go away, thanks to some expert ball movement from Draymond Green and JaVale McGee. You see right there as Bazemore able to get the easy lay-in, and Green off to McGee for the 2-handed slam. The Hawks stayed close, but the Warriors, with the help of Tim Hardaway Jr., they were able to stay within striking distance of the Warriors, but Golden State, as we've seen so often, just too strong as Stephen Curry able to hit a 3 from the corner. Very tough hit. He finished it with 24, and the Warriors win 119-111. Well, of course, it's March, and right now the college basketball world is focusing on who makes the NCAA tournament. Right now, the major conferences are working on tournament play, and meanwhile, 7 teams have already found their spots in the field of 68. The Iona Gales clinched the MAAC championship last night after an overtime win against Siena. Jacksonville State is also in the tournament as the Ohio Valley champions. The Wichita State Shockers got the automatic bid from the Missouri Valley Conference, while Winthrop, Florida Gulf Coast, East Tennessee State, and UNC Wilmington have all punched their tickets in to the big dance. Well, that's all for today. Christian, Joe, back to you guys.
Thanks, Anthony. When we come back, we will meet the UNL students who make Husker athletics so special. You're watching Star City News.
Out with the old, in with the new. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications is ready for the future with its brand new renovation. This renovation was completed with you in mind, so you can create, so you can innovate. Change how you view the world, how you capture the world. Start here, go anywhere.
Are you tired of waiting in line for weight sets or an open treadmill at the campus rec? Do the crowds make working out less appealing? Then head on over to the East Campus Rec and Wellness Center. The East Campus Rec has everything you need, from weightlifting, running, and fitness machines to basketball courts and an indoor track, all without the crowds. So come on over to the East Campus Rec and Wellness Center, located at 1717 North 35th Street, just a block west of the East Campus Union.
Here, at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, we know you enjoy the little things, and the big things, and a lot of things. But we want to make sure that you do it right. Remember, a little bit of protection can save you from sickness and unintended accidents. This message brought to you by the University Health Center. When you do it, just do it right.
Welcome back into Star City News. I'm Christian Folsom.
And I'm Joe Harris.
Music adds a little something extra to Husker events, and just like Anthony Ainsley told us last segment, March Madness begins, and here's a group of UNL students who make game day special. Star City's Anthony Ainsley has more.
Husker fans hear these musically gifted students at every Nebraska men's and women's basketball game. These students are some of the 140 members who make up the Big Red Express. All of these young musicians are split up into 4 separate bands, and they take turns playing games with 2 bands combining each time. The band members are required to show up 45 minutes before tip-off. They then spend 10 minutes warming up and tuning before going into the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena and begin playing. All of the members have their reasons for being in the band. Some do it for class credit, others for the fun of it.
It's also, I figured I could continue my love and, my mom's kind of nagging, but continue my love for band through college.
The Big Red Express here is pretty similar to how we did it at my high school, and I thought I'm already involved in some music stuff on campus here, and I enjoyed it in high school, so I gave it a shot.
The band's playlist features a wide variety of hit songs by various artists, from Jimi Hendrix and Michael Jackson to today's biggest names such as Justin Timberlake, Taylor Swift, and Fall Out Boy.
Fire's cool. I think one of my favorites is No Place.
I think Bang Bang's pretty good. Cake by the Ocean. Shut Up and Dance. It's a good one.
For Star City News, I'm Anthony Ainsley reporting.
Well, it's great to see an organization like that on campus doing such big things, Joe.
Indeed it is.
Well, that's all for tonight, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.
A lot of high school students would ask, why should I go to UNL? Well, why did Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show fan, go to UNL? Why did multi-billionaire businessman Warren Buffett go to UNL? Why did people of such great fame and success go to UNL? Simple, because these are people that wanted to be successful. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, you too can begin your own success story. After all, if people like this can achieve national recognition and who came from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, then so can you.
Out with the old, in with the new. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications is ready for the future with its brand new renovation. This renovation was completed with you in mind, so you can create, so you can innovate. Change how you view the world, how you capture the world. Start here, go anywhere.
The historic Haymarket, a beautiful place just west of downtown Lincoln, home of the exciting Pinnacle Bank Arena and a rich history. The Haymarket's history starts shortly after Lincoln's founding, when Lincoln was a busy hub for trains filled with traders and merchants. But now, Lincoln has a new rail yard that's filled with people looking for food, drinks, or fun. The Haymarket is loaded with restaurants and fun for everyone. What are you waiting for? Go visit lincolnhaymarket.org/events to find out what's happening today.